Welcome. It's a nice August sunny afternoon. Just got off work, picked up my animals and fed them, and came home. And I thought I'd do a little video I've been meaning to do. This is part of a series that I'm trying to put out, part of a Working Smarter, Not Harder series. Hopefully, we're going to come up with some things to help you. Today is calendars and clocks. And get it to move. Basically, it's a series of suggestions and tips. It's to help you plan your workload, make more efficient use of your time. Um, Majority of these tools and tips will be either in the the cybersecurity program course, or the career capstone career preparation course on the Francis Tuttle Canvas. If you go into the uh, cybersecurity program modules in the introduction, they're in right towards the beginning. Under orientation is a section important dates. The first thing is a one-page calendar from the district, and if you can see, it lists all the dates that there will not be classes and the reasons. They're color coded. For example, the semester start in August, there's a staff development day. September, there's a holiday. New starts, fall break, no starts, staff development, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break. Notice up in the left-hand corner of the instructional days for high school students, it gives you the beginning and the ending for each of the 9 weeks or the quarters. Be aware of that. If you're a high school student, don't claim ignorance that you didn't know when the 9 weeks ended. It lists out the days that schools are closed, the non-instructional days, and so on and so forth. It does a pretty good job. I'll back up here. Before I go on, I have also in that same location put another calendar. And this is actually a proof of concept for what we were doing earlier, or what we're going to end up doing. This is actually, I have put the school calendar out on Canvas, and then it has, I've exported it to Google, and then I've pulled it back in. So this is what you'll be doing if you put it in your calendar. Notice Skills USA things are in there, post-secondary. For into the first quarter, fall break, staff development, that's Thanksgiving. You can do it weekly, monthly. You can put it in the month in agenda format, which is kind of nice. But back to the original Canvas calendar. The Canvas calendar, you can find that. I need to get in the right class. I'm in the right program. I'm going to come over here to calendar. I'm going to right click. That allows me to open another tab. I can just close this tab when I want to and come right back to where I left off. You can see same dates. Now, when you click these on, probably all these are going to be turned on. Okay, like this is. Since we are open exit, open entry, open exit, there is no calendar per se for a course. There's just one for the entire program, and then you personally. So what I suggest is turning off all except for your personal one in the cybersecurity program calendar. You can actually go in, and the three dots at the end will allow you to go in and change the color coding and customize that. The next thing we're going to talk about is publishing to other calendars. You may already be using Google Calendars. You may be using Outlook and Exchange. You may be using Apple Calendar. This calendar feed button down towards the bottom, actually, when you click that, it generates a feed link, and you copy and paste that into wherever you're wanting to go. I'll show you the links here in just a minute on where to get those. It doesn't matter. Anything that takes iCalc format. This particular one is a Google Calendar. I've gone in to add a calendar, and then the URL from URL, paste it in here, and it's published to Google. Okay, you can see, you can tell it's Google just by the icons. I'm going to back up. Before I get into that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the course, capstone course. And there is the, right after the final class discussions, there's the smarter, not harder section. This is a post on how to import it into whatever your different calendar is. I've also put a couple links out here on how to read analog clocks. There seems to be some challenge. Apparently that's not getting taught in the schools anymore. People, I have everybody sign in to take tests, and I've got a clock, an analog clock on the wall right behind me, and they're pulling out their phone, and I could only wonder that they don't quite know how to read the analog clock. It's handy. It's a skill that you need. The next section we're going to do on these tips will be the browsers, how to get around in the browsers, some things you can turn on and off, and maybe speed things up. The next thing is, how do you determine, since we're open entry, open exit, how do you determine your end date for your course? Well, most of our courses are either 130, 140, or 150 hours long. You're in class 3 hours a day. So you divide the total number of hours by 3, you come up with 43 1/3, 46.7, and 50 days. I just round up on all those. I make it 44 days, 47 days, 50 days. My predecessor came up with this. This is a wonderful device that he had come up with for calculating very easily, if you can count, if you can add, what day you're supposed to be finishing a class. This is actually a spreadsheet. If you'll notice in the first column, the weeks are numbered sequentially. In the next column is the date for the Monday of that particular week. Then he has gone in and added cells for Monday through Friday. We're excluding the weekends because we're not counting them. They're not class days. It just makes it easier to exclude them from the count. You'll notice that the days where there's no class has no class, or NC. And some of these are a little bit different. Some of them have numbers and then NS, which means new starts. They are actually the day. There's the day we're actually having class. I just wanted to designate that. So basically, we figured out that how many days that you're going to be in this class, you take your start date. For example, in this particular instance, because of all the opening things we did the welcome week and so on and so forth, instead of starting at 1, I'm actually starting their progress at the Monday, the 27th. That's a value of 9. Oops. Say it's a 150-day class, divide by 3. That puts me at 50 days. I add that to the 9. I go down here and I find 59 on my chart. It's in week 13. Week 13, Monday is 11/5. So the next one is 11/6, 11/7, 11/8. Okay? So 59 is 11/8. That's the end date for that class. If, for example, though, I happen to be a 130-hour class, then I would take 44 plus 9, which would be 53, and it would be up here. It would be in week 12. I take October 29th, 30th, 31st, and that would be the 53 days. Okay, does that make a little sense? We'll have some place for you to record that. I will also talk about it later. I'll have some project spreadsheets that will allow you to project out your individual courses on a chapter by chapter basis where you should be. A couple other things just to show you real quick. Well, I think I'm actually going to just call it good and go on. Hopefully I'm going to make these small and short and not long, and we'll do a number of them. So until next time, have a beautiful day.